Hi, Alex.
Hello,
How are you?
good, and you?
I'm really well. I'm excited to find out how your mentoring sessions with Richard are going.
They've been going very well.
They're going very well. I have some questions for you. Do you mind if I just go ahead and ask the questions? Or would you like to give me an overview of how the mentoring is going first?
How old were you?
You want to give an overview? Okay, go ahead. How is the mentoring going?
The mentoring has been well. My mentor's really been helping me with tips for revising and much more.
Can you give me some actual tips that Richard has given you?
Stay calm.
What actions did you discuss in order for you to stay calm?
Resilience.
And how do you do that?
By ignoring distractions and just focusing on your work.
Is that what you discussed with Richard?
I don't really remember. I think that's what I remembered.
So the important thing about this review, and the reason why we have a review, is for you to be able to reflect on the discussions you've had and also the actions that you have spoken about, and actions that will help you to achieve your goal. So the beautiful thing about mentoring is that it's not just about having a conversation. There's a lot of action planning that goes into it. And action planning is when you say, there's something that I would like to start doing, stop doing, or maybe change the way I'm doing it. And these are the small things that I'm going to start doing, stop doing, or change doing, change the way I'm doing, so that I can get to a place where I want to be. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's important to reflect during the mentoring relationship. Otherwise, you could get to the end of the mentoring relationship and be like, what did I actually do? What did we talk about? So, when you're with Richard, do you write down any of your goals or anything that you discuss, or do you just talk?
He asked me to write something down. I don't really take notes.
Okay. So, what have you written down, and where are those notes?
About what priorities people have.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wrote for my mom and dad, they have love, freedom, security, success, and forgiveness.
Oh, this is your values, and the values that your father figure and your mother figure, your mom and your dad have. This is the values that they have.
Yes.
What were your values?
I didn't really write them down.
Do you remember them?
No.
Okay, so did you discuss them with Richard?
Yes.
Okay, do you remember what values are?
Yes.
Great. What are they?
They're what a person has, or not really what they're worth, but what they are.
Important to them. What's most important to them? What makes them tick? Yeah. Okay, great. So let's go through, and just to let you know that there are more. Actually, maybe I should kind of try and reduce it a bit. Can you see that?
Not really.
Okay, so we're going to work with the top half, and then once you've looked at all of the values going all the way down to creativity and selflessness, then we'll look at the next batch. Okay, so pick 5 out of all of the values that hit. These values are just examples of values. You may have some that you want to add yourself.
Challenge, love, loyalty, control, security, and positivity.
So you've got positivity, control, security, loyalty, love, and challenge.
Yes.
Do you want to swap any of those for any of these down here?
Yes.
What would you want?
For success and freedom.
You want to swap them out or you want to add them to your list?
Add them.
Okay. So you've got success, freedom. Can you write these down? These are right. These are your values. This is what is important to you. So it's funny because I know you. You know, when I think about you and freedom, I think about you skipping. Oops. I think about you skipping. What else do you do that gives you that sense of freedom?
Play my games.
What games?
I don't really know the names.
These are video games, console games.
No, I play them on my phone.
Oh, okay. And why do you play them?
Because they're fun.
So how does that give you this element of freedom, that feeling of being free?
Because when I play, it's just so fun.
Okay. So is it freedom or fun or enjoyment? Is there enjoyment there or joy?
Freedom.
It's freedom. So when you're having fun, you feel free?
Yes.
Okay. Write that down, please. So what have you written down so far?
Success, freedom.
What else did you say?
Oh, there's more. Let me write it down. And I finished writing.
It sounds like you're writing big, bold letters. So what did you write down?
I wrote down success, freedom, control, security, love, challenge, and positivity.
Okay, great. And which values do you hope to live by in the future? So let me say that again. Which values do you hope to live by in the future?
Money.
Where's money?
Teamwork.
There it is. Interesting.
Teamwork.
Yeah, money, teamwork.
Family and equality.
Can you write those down, please?
Okay.
Family, equality, teamwork, and money. All right, so you've had the first session you had with Richard. Can you tell me how you found the first session with Richard?
My first impression was he was nice and kind. He was welcoming. Like he was from the start. I knew he was going to be a great mentor.
That's nice to say. Are there any things that Richard have said to you from the first sessions to the last session you had that has made you think differently or act differently in your day-to-day life?
He tells me to keep on trying.
And how has that changed the way you do things in your day-to-day life?
Because I focus a little bit more at school.
How?
Because usually some of the lessons are boring, but now I focus on the lessons that are boring.
How do you focus on the lessons that are boring? When you're in the lesson, how are you now focusing?
I participate all the time.
Participate? How do you participate?
By answering the questions.
And what helps you to answer the questions?
The text that we get.
The text that you get?
Yeah.
Okay.
Piece of paper.
Okay, so how are you, so what are you reading?
Yeah.
So are you telling me that, how is that different to what you were doing before? The fact that now you're reading the text that you get.
Before you skimmed through it.
And now what are you doing?
I read all of it.
And which lessons are you now reading the text in?
English.
Any other lessons?
Geography and history.
English, geography, history?
Yes.
Any other?
No.
Okay. So in English, geography and history, you're now reading the text. Is there anything else you're doing differently in those lessons?
No, not really.
So are you telling me, Alex, that you've made this one change that now got you participating in class and answering questions?
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So let me ask you another question. Do you understand what's happening in class at the moment? Do you understand what you're learning in English, geography, and what did you say the other one was? English, geography,
history.
History.
I do understand.
Be honest. Do you understand what's being taught in class?
Yes.
That's good. What you've done is found a way to a really small thing that actually had a big impact.
Pardon?
You've done something quite small, which is just read through the text thoroughly, which is having a big impact on your presence in the class. Like now you're present, you're participating. You're not off in la la land daydreaming, thinking about all the games that you prefer to be playing or thinking about what you're going to be doing at the mentoring lab next Super Saturday. You're participating. All right, so let me ask you a question now. I'm going to ask you to dig deep into your thinking. So I want to think about one more thing that you changed or started doing or stopped doing since you're mentoring with Richard. So we've had this not skipping by the busy road. We've got to keep you safe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we also have you reading text.
I don't really have anything.
Would you like to think about it and then let me know on Saturday when I see you on Saturday?
Yes.
So I will ask you. You know I'm on your case now, right?
Yes.
So I won't forget. Is there anything that you would like to start talking about with Richard that maybe you haven't had the opportunity to tell him?
No.
Is there anything you'd like to change?
Pardon?
Anything you'd like to change about the mentoring sessions?
No, they're perfectly fine.
Okay. What would you like to say to Richard? If you were able to give him a message right now, what would you like to say to him?
I want to thank him for being such a good mentor and a good person overall.
Is that full stop? Or is it a dot?
Yeah. And for helping me have a mentor. That's all.
Can I ask you, I thought of one thing. So this is my thing for you. This is not your thing for you. This is mine. What are you like with eating sugary food at the moment?
Good.
Okay, break that down for me. What does good mean?
Does ice cream count as sugary?
Yeah, it does. How many times do you have ice cream in a day?
Maybe twice or 3 times.
And how many times a week?
I eat ice cream every day.
What about all the other things you were eating? All the other sugary things you were eating during the day?
No, I only eat ice cream.
So, tell me then, before the mentoring sessions, what would you eat for breakfast and maybe after school? The sugar I'm talking about, we don't need to know what mummy's cooking you. We don't need to put that out on the socials, right? Tell me about the sugary stuff that you would have in the morning.
I don't really eat anything in the morning until I get to school because they give out free bagels. And after school, I just have ice cream.
So this was before the mentoring sessions?
Yes.
This is before the mentoring session started?
In the morning, I had like a chocolate bar, and when I came back, I had even more sweets, and now I only eat ice cream.
Listen, I need everyone to understand that this wasn't just a sweet here and there. Like, you were addicted. Do you remember that day when I confiscated everybody's sweets? You were like, I need my sweet. Remember? You don't remember?
I don't remember.
Oh, bless you. I remember, and I said, Alex, I know this is painful now, but we're doing it for your benefit. I promise you that it will get better. And you were so upset with me. In terms of 3 things, you have cut down your sugar intake, which helps with your focus. Did you know there was a connection between sugar intake and your ability to focus or not?
Yes.
Sure?
Yes.
Are you listening in PSHE when they talk about healthy eating?
Sometimes I don't pay attention, sometimes I do.
So if you have less sugar in the morning and if you eat a healthy breakfast in the morning, especially like things that give you a slow release of energy, like oats, Weetabix, bran flakes, fruit and fibre, then you'll be able to have more focus during school. And I know mum knows this, so listen to mum when she says eat the breakfast before you go to school. Right? And then the sugar that you have throughout the day when you come back home will actually stop you from going to sleep easily because your mind will be racing. You listening?
Yes.
Okay, repeat to me the understanding or give me the understanding of what I've just said.
You just said not to eat sugar in the morning because it's gonna mess up your focus. Have cereal and in PHT they teach about healthy eating.
Kind of what I said, but I'm proud of you for cutting sugar because that was a real concern of mine. I'm proud of you. So you've reduced your sugar intake. You have decreased your skipping on busy high roads and streets. Oh, don't worry. Don't worry. On Saturday, we'll go skipping somewhere at break time, yeah? Right? I can see how the skipping gives you a sense of freedom. Oh my gosh, we should have a skipping race in honor of you. That's what we're going to do, right? Okay. Anyway, moving on. So you reduce your sugar intake throughout the day. You've reduced the amount of times that you skip on high roads and busy roads. And you've also started reading text in class. So you're now participating more in class. Okay? So I want you to write that down in your book now so you know what it is that you're achieving and making progression in. Then I will speak to Alex and I'll let him, not Alex, you're Alex. I will speak to Richard and let him see this video. And I'll also speak to Richard about him asking you to write down things more because you're not a baby. Young Alex. You're turning into a young man. How old are you now?
11.
You can write down your own things. You can use the pen and paper that you have to write down your own goals. Richard will write his notes for himself and you'll write your notes for yourself. Because this is your life. It's your life, right? It's not Richard's life. Yours. All right?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Are you proud of yourself?
Yes.
Give yourself a pat on the back. I'm proud of you. All right, so between now and next 2 weeks, when you see Richard again, what goal would you like to work on? So that you can come back to Richard and say, Richard, I have achieved. What goal would you like to work on?
Food.
Talk to me more about
that. Been taking too much food. Yes.
What do you mean? Explain it so I can understand.
I eat too much food.
Oh, you actually eat too? You think you eat too much food?
No, I eat too much food.
Okay, give me an example.
At school, I spend like £10 worth of food every day.
Do you? And what food are you buying? Lunch.
Like cake and custard, like paninis, pizza and slushies.
Do you know you're a growing young man? How are you supposed to grow without food? So
I do eat.
You do eat. So are you talking about the quantity of food or the quality of the food you're eating?
Quantity.
Okay, so what would you prefer to eat?
I prefer to eat ice cream and chicken.
Ice cream and chicken, what, together?
Kind of.
No!
I mean, depending what type of chicken it is.
What do you mean, like ice cream, chicken with ice cream sauce?
Ice cream sauce?
Do you know what? This could be the thing that you sell when you're older. You save up your money to then become an entrepreneur. Everybody, Alex is going to come out with a chicken ice cream sauce. Oh, we shouldn't say, someone might steal it.
There's like a chicken ice cream.
Got like ice cream, chicken flavored ice cream.
Yes.
There's already chicken. I know, and I can imagine who came out with that ice cream, but I'm not going to say it because people will say I'm out of order. But I know who created chicken flavored ice cream. All right. So on a real talk now. So tell me what changes you're going to make, and then write them down. Like, tell me what it looks like in reality.
It looks good.
Tell me what you're going to do tomorrow when you go to employment school.
I don't know.
You want to just focus. I'm going to ask you the question again, but what I would like you to do is stop what you're doing and focus on what I'm asking you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Just pause for a second. When you go into the canteen tomorrow, focus. What are you going to do differently than what you did today?
I'm going to choose the food better for my health.
And do you already know which foods that will be?
Yes.
Which foods are they? Tell me. What are they called?
Shortbread, custard, paninis, basically pizza inside of a baguette.
Okay. Oh, panini. Yeah. I know that. You said panini. Do you have two?
No, just one.
Panini. Okay.
And that's all.
So you're going to have a panini, and then you're going to have shortbread and cake and custard.
Yes.
Water or juice?
Water.
And is that different to what you usually get?
No.
So what's the difference?
I don't always get water because I have my own rule.
But how is that a goal or something that you're going to improve or stop doing or change if you're going to do the same thing?
It's going to help me. I don't eat the same thing, but I have 3 bottles of water every day.
That's good. So between now and the next time you see Rich, which will be in 2 weeks, what are you going to do differently to improve the amount of food that you eat?
Choose foods that are good.
So I would like you in 2 weeks to tell Richard about what you've been eating.
Okay.
Focus on the differences that you've made. You can figure it out as you go along, but come back and reflect on it.
Okay.
Okay? Is there anything that you would like to say to the mentoring lab? Me, not me, but the mentoring lab as an organisation. No nice words. Yeah, that's not what I get fed off of, people giving me real feedback, which is sometimes negative. That's what gets them going. Can you
maybe come to the mentoring lab and help us out? Maybe you can get a job, or you can just fix a career.
And what would you like to say to everybody that helps out at the mentoring lab?
Thank you.